This race just keeps getting in. It just keeps getting worse. Bienvenido a España. Welcome to Spain. So today we're racing in Barcelona, as you can see on your screen. So basically, welcome back to our F2 to F1 series, where we take on the challenge of graduating from F2 to F1. So we still do not have a perfect setup. Last race we complained a lot about not having a good setup. Now here it was horrible because we just took one out of the time trials that we saw on the time trial leaderboards, and honestly it did not work. It was a bit too unresponsive, especially in the turns. So as we head down into turn 1, where Hamilton made the beautiful overtake on Max Verstappen, we do go a little bit deep into the turn, but we managed to keep the car on track, as it F2 cars are a bit heavy, right? So you try your best to use its mass against it rather than walking with it, because if you can go into a corner fast and somehow slow it down in the middle of it, I mean, that's perfect. So we do set a purple sector 1 coming down into this hill, low going hill. We do, I know, track limits can be arguable there, because we're actually on regular track limit settings, not strict. If that was strict, that would have been an invalidation immediately. So now onto the back straight. We go a little bit deep, taking a little bit too much curb, but we managed to make the car stick onto the exit. Coming down the DRS zone, we brake early, setting a purple sector 2 as well. With this momentum, we have a chance of actually securing pole position for the first time in our F2 careers. So down sector 3, we do take it a little bit cautiously, because here the car can't get thrown haphazardly, as you will see in the future clips to come in this race. So down the penultimate corner, we do get a decent exit, but we do go a little bit wide, losing a bit of time, but we come down the final straight, and it is pole position. Is it? Yes, it is. We set a purple sector 3 as well. So
fantastic. You've got pole.
Yes, Jeff, we do got pole. So, looking at the standings, I think I've said so a lot of times in just this episode. So, I lead Schumacher, lead Tsunoda, lead Schwartzman, leads Drugovich. That's the top 5. So, I'll see you all in the race as you guys listen to the commentator guy tell you everything about the start.
Hello and welcome to the circuit to Barcelona Catalunya. We're counting down to the start of today's race, and you can feel the excitement in the air. This promises to be a real spectacle. Here's the venue we'll be racing at, known to the teams, well known to the drivers. Many will have raced here as teenagers. We've got 16 turns, the elevation of 30 meters, and some famous moments down through the years. In commentary, I'm Alex Jakes, and I'm joined once again by 2012 GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi. Davide, I imagine you've been around this track countless times by now. Any tips for the drivers out there today?
Yeah, you're right. This is a track that has been in rotation for both Formula 1 and Formula 2 for years now. My advice is to watch your tires management. The track has a bumpy surface that can be very demanding on drivers and tires. Play it safe most of the way around, then look at the long straight into turn 1 for overtake opportunities.
Well then, after an exciting session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. The captain lines up on pole position, with Mick Schumacher alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Tsunoda, Schwartzman, Felipe Drugovich, and Piquet, Giotto, Sato, Tictum, Kalamilot, Daruvala, Aitkit, Nobuharu Matsushita, and Samaya, Armstrong, Alesi, Delatraz, and Guan Yu Zhou. Markelov, Nissani, Galeo, and Nikita Mazepin starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right on. So we're down at the track, pole position. This is our first time in pole position, the second race of the calendar, and we are now on the track. Revs at full. It is 5 lights, and come on, it's lights out, and away we go. We get an excellent start. No, we do not actually. We get jumped by Schumacher who seems to have gotten an amazing start. We tried to cover Tsunoda off onto the straight to avoid him getting that slipstream, but he does get the slipstream. He is on our side, but we managed to hold him off just a little bit with Schumacher now leading the race. He does get a little bit tangly on the throttle, but we do manage to secure P2, Schumacher P1, followed by Schwartzman. Tsunoda, who loses a position to Schwartzman, and then Drogovic up in P5. So now we are following Schumacher down into the turn that Hamilton and Nico Rosberg crashed, and this is the end of lap 1. We are approaching the end, and we do get a little bit of a moment because we did get a little bit greedy on the curb. One thing you can do in this track is get a little bit greedy on the curb, because the curbs do indeed throw you off rapidly. So we do go a little bit wide there, compromising our exit. Again, track limits could have been applicable there. We did cross over a little bit too much. As Schwartzman challenges for P2, we managed to cover him off just a little bit as Schumacher sets the fastest lap of the race. Schumacher now leads the race, followed by Michael, then Schwartzman onto our right, trying to get the move done. We do go for the deep lunge, but we kind of let him go a little bit, but we do cover it off as soon as we approach the second half of that corner, which was actually a move that we should have let him pass by to help us catch Schumacher with the slipstream. As you can see in the sped up footage, we are chasing the entire time. We can't catch Schumacher. There's a reason Schumacher is our main title contender, rival, whatever you want to call him, because he is a force to be reckoned with, given that we do try to catch him all through, but we don't seem to be making up enough time to catch him just yet. As you can see in the delta, we do set a purple sector 1, a green sector 2, and here we lose the car a little bit. We go onto the curb a little bit too much. Now down to the end of lap 3, Schumacher still leads from Michael, from Schwartzman, Tsunoda in P4. We do get a moment and we spin onto the racetrack. Now this we could have recovered a little bit quicker, but we couldn't find the reverse button that quickly. That was the problem. So we do end up in P22 at the end of this kerfuffle that we just had with the Cubs. And we are in last position. Mazepin, who leads Nissani, Zhu, and Gala, whatever his name is. As you can see in the replay, we had the chance to reverse real quickly, but we did not do it fast enough. And as you can see, Spain with the S silent is what is happening, ladies and gentlemen, as we are now in P22. Honestly, we are freaking lost after an amazing pole position, after an amazing start that we managed to recover, and we do spin again as we get onto the curbs, a little bit greedy from me, and this race just keeps getting in. It just keeps getting worse. We just went from pole to last to spinning again. Now down to the end of lap 5, we have set a purple sector 2, but we're a little bit cautious on the curb that threw us off the first time, forcing us to spin. We do set the fastest lap in this lap. Apparently we do not, as we get a red sector 3. Wow, this race has really turned around to become a nightmare, from a dream pole to a horrible race. As we do tell Jeff right there to give us fewer updates, because at this point I was literally pissed. And we do have a moment again, losing the rear. I think it is the setup or the tires. Something must be contributed to it, because we have had 3 moments so far. I think actually 4. The first one was a spin. No, it wasn't a spin, it was an almost spin. Second one was a spin that lost us up to P22. The third one was the point when we got onto the curves a little bit too early, and then the fourth one was the one that we just saw right now. As the replay showed us, we did lose the rear. The setup isn't just working with us properly. As Schumacher sets a fastest lap, and we do go off again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone off the track again. This is the 5th time. Spain with the S silent in all capital letters, exclamation marks, because it just keeps getting worse and worse every single lap. Now we are on to the final lap. As you can see, we just thought of this as a qualifying lap, trying to get the fastest lap point away from Mick Schumacher, which we do manage to set a purple sector 1. Coming on to sector 2, the back straight, we do set a green sector 2, which was a good sign. On to sector 3, the place where we've lost almost all our time. We do manage to, make up a little bit of time. And do we get the fastest lap? Yes, we do. We get the fastest lap of the race, stealing at that point from Mick Schumacher, which is a crucial point in the end of the season. I'm sure it's going to play out majorly. But that was pain galore as we tried to finally, we tried to finally have a decent race with no collisions. We didn't get any collisions, but we did get spins and spins and spins, as Dan Ticktum, I believe, gets the driver of the day. Mick Schumacher wins, followed by, I'm not sure who's second actually. I think it was Jeruvala, was it? No, I'm not actually very sure. I think it was Sonoda, but that was pain. So that is the feature race over. Now we're going to move on to the sprint race. Let's hope that goes well. I mean, honestly, that was painful. It was painful to spin multiple times. Now on to the podium, you see Schumacher, you see Sonoda, and I believe that is Schwartzman, is it? I'm not 100% sure who the guy in top position is, but Schumacher does get the trophy. It hurts, it really does hurt. But ultimately, there's nothing we could do after the first spin. We did lose a lot of track position in that spin after getting an amazing pole. But, ultimately, we just have to pick up and try and recover the race in the sprint race. So I will see you then. So looking at the standings, Mick Schumacher actually did get the fastest lap, did he? I'm not actually sure how the rules in F2 work. Sonoda gets second and Schwartzman gets third. We finish last behind Mazepin, which it's depressing. It is depressing, but we tried all we could to recover. There was no recovering after the second spin.
Hope to see you then. Take care.
Right, so looking at the start replay, we did get a horrible start off the line with a lot of wheel spin as Schumacher jumps us right then and there. Sonoda comes up to P3 trying to make a move on us. Schwartzman in P4, PK in P5. Dragovic does make the move on PK. They just swap positions again. Dragovic who leads PK, Sonoda, and then Schwartzman, then Michael, then me. So it was a horrible start. I'm going to let you guys listen to the guy tell you about the sprint race.
Yesterday's feature race, a reverse to make up the grid below us. And in just a few minutes, those drivers will be hurtling down into turn 1. I'm not the only one sitting here today who's looking forward to today's race. My friend and ex-GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi next to me.
Right, so now we are onto the track for the sprint race. We do take a look at the setup, but there's nothing much we can do about this because it's only too late to change the main vital components. Starting from the back of the grid, it is 5 lights and away we go. We get a decent start. No, we do not. We get another bad start. It's just bad start after bad start from us, the Prema team, and not Prema, with ART. I confused it. Sorry. So the ART team starts last, and we try to take a dive bomb. We do get significant positions going in front of Mazepin, battling for the position with Galail from the blue car. I'm not sure what team that is, but Samaya leads Galea, leads Michael. As we make a move, we do get the overtake done. Do we? Yes, we seal it coming down into this turn. We think about going for the dive bomb, but we pull out at the end of it just because we knew that we'd get a lot of damage, possibly a spin. Getting out of the way, a good exit, coming very close to the orange Samaya guy. I don't know how to say his name, but we do make up 2 positions, overtaking Alesi as well. Now in front of us we have Matsushita. We tried to go for the move, but it's a bit hesitant. It's touch and go. Right there, we could have made a little bit of contact that could have possibly sustained damage, but we did manage to get out of it in one piece. Now, coming up to the end of lap 2, the penultimate, the final corner actually, we do make up significant positions from P22. Now we're at P14, which is really good. Now, if you look to the bottom right, you see that our rear wing is actually orange. That was because our DRS had a fault. I believe it was stuck closed. No, it was definitely stuck close because we're getting a lot of downforce down that back turn. As we set up purple sector 1, we think of the move on Armstrong. As we do get a better exit, are we going to go for the dive bomb? Yes, we switch on to the inside, going for the dive bomb. We do get past him without making any contact. Now in front of us we have Deletraz, who is in front of us. So we ask Jeff if we have any sort of damage, and he tells us we do have front wing damage. We did have front wing damage, which was a bit regrettable given that we could have avoided most of the incidents that we were involved in. But coming on to the start finish straight, we do have Deletraz in front of us. Thinking about going for the move, we head over to the right side and we do get the move done. We do come a little bit too close for comfort, but we do get it done at the end with our DRS still stuck closed. We do set a purple sector 3. And we have a damaged front wing. That is unfortunate with our front tires, front left exactly, being very worn out. As we do make the move, and Jack Aitken, do we seal it? Yes, we happen to go onto the curb a little bit too shy. We're a bit cautious, but we do get the move sealed as we do set the fastest lap. Schumacher in front of us. Do we go for the move? Do we go left? Do we go right? Let's see what we do. We do go right. And Schumacher tries to cover off, but we do get the move done with a broken wing, which is quite commendable given that we do have a broken wing. We have less downforce, but we did make the move stick. In front of us now we have Sato with 2 purple sectors already. Are we going to set a fastest lap? We probably will. No, we do not. We get a red sector 3, and now we're on to the final lap. We do make a move on Sato. We think about going around the outside. Do we make it stick? We do make it stick, pushing a bit off, and we do make contact, pushing Sato off the racing line completely. I believe he went into the gravel. I honestly did not mean to make contact with him, but Sato was involved in an unfortunate series of events. I do apologize. We do get driver of the day coming from P22, but the contact with Sato could have been avoided. That was my fault completely. Right, so Jehan Daruvla wins for India and the Red Bull team. I'm not sure what the team is called, but I know it's sponsored by Red Bull.
The winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there today.
Right, so on to the podium celebrations. We can see Daruvla, we can see the British guy, and we can see an Italian guy who I do not recognize right from the face.
It means a great deal to this team.
Right, so the champagne celebrations for our top 3 who dearly deserved it. India on the top step, followed by Italy, rounded up by Britain on the third position spot. Third position. Right, so let's move on to the standings to check where we are. So Jehan Daruvla wins, followed by Giotto and Tictum. I couldn't recognize Tictum. So in the championship standings, we are behind Mick Schumacher by 13 points, which isn't really a big gap. ART team is 4th in the constructors, which is not a good position, but we're going to try and fight our way up into the top 3 at least. So Schwartzman actually gets P5. Our teammate gets P13, Marcus Armstrong. That was it for the race. It was just pain in Spain. That should be the title of the video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care and peace.